It's a very, very simple question. Deal or no deal? Should Harry Maguire get a contract extension at Man United? Actually, not an extension, a new contract, because he's coming to the end of his current contract. Should Man United give Harry Maguire a new contract? Of course, different terms, bring the wages down. The contract length, of course, would have to be different to what it's been in the past. Is he having enough say in this team? Are his services, both on and off the field, needed? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to say if the money's right and the contract length is right, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. Right now, with Leacher as well, because there's different skill sets, he's our most dominant defender. He's consistent. He's strong in the air. He's a leader. He's got injuries, so you have to look at that. But who do you want Leny Yoro to learn off? Who do you want the likes of Aiden Heaven to learn off? You need those young bucks to learn off somebody consistent. And if Harry Maguire drops those demands, which I'm not saying he's trying to out the club for more, like he's going to know he needs to get less. I think he's somebody good to have in there if you can get him on the right price. If you can't get him on the right deal, on the right money each week, I get it. No problem. You go and find your bargains out there in Europe, etc., etc. But we are well stacked in terms of the young up-and-coming guys. We've got Aiden Heaven and we've got Leny Yoro. You've got those two. So you are going to need another experienced-ish guy. So if it's Harry Maguire, I'm not mad. I'm not saying we absolutely must do it, but I'm definitely not mad if the numbers get to where they need to get to. I'm not angry. I wouldn't be angry. Me personally, I wouldn't be angry. Let me know what you guys are saying. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome to United View. Apparently, the club want to keep him. There's rumors of that. But more importantly, the squad. We're going to be talking about the squad. The squad are saying, listen, we love Harry. We want Harry to stay. They have to give you a new contract, Harry. You're playing out your skin. We can't see next season without you. I'm paraphrasing. I've made most of all of that up. But there is some substance to what I'm saying, and we will get through it. Won't we, Owen?
Yes, we will indeed. Yes, indeed. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Morning View. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. And yes, the question is simple, Fleck. Yeah, deal or no deal? I've got another question for you as well. To be optimized or not to be optimized? It's not even a question, is it really? Simple answer, honestly.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own. Owen lost over 100 pounds in 10 months. And KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds. And Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, as always, you can scan that QR code right there. Yes, there. It was Valentine's Day at the weekend. Maybe you had, some chocolate, some food, some sweets, some dinner, and you're going, right, okay, now it's getting silly now. I gave a New Year's resolution, you know what I mean? And they go, less of sort of a heart, maybe more of a potato.
That's Supatch 4058 super chatted €5. We have to look at the bigger picture. With more games next year, injuries will play a major part. Will we have the depth to manage?
That is a big question when it comes to Harry Maguire. It's about having the squad next season, and it's also about having yourself at your peak level of performance, which is why you can scan that QR code right there, and you can save
Bring it back round. Love that.
Off. Oh, yeah. You can get up to 70% off your first order. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. You can get your Optimum Night. You can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep. You can get them individually or combined anyway, which you please. As always, information is in the video description below. The link's in the video description below. It's also pinned in the chat as well. Yes, Flex, you asked the question, deal or no deal. I will put that to a poll in the chat in just a second. You're saying yes.
On the right conditions, I'm saying yeah. You're saying no.
I'm saying no. I mean, I'm open. I'm open to the right conditions. I'm open to the right conditions, and it's not the look. It's not a hill to die on. Certainly, it's not like anything like that. But I just feel like maybe it's time to move on. You know what I mean? The door, that chapter's closing. I get what the super chat was saying there, but we are going to need more players next season. We are going to need a bigger squad. Hopefully, we're going to be fighting on all fronts. Champions League. Let's go further in some cup competitions. We don't want to be having international breaks in February like we're having right now when it's not an international break. We just don't have any games because we're rubbish, basically. But I also look at it as, like you said, he's had some injuries this season. Even now, I think he's got an injury at the moment, isn't he? He came off against West Ham because he said he did his hamstring. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. And I would save the money that we save, I would spend on getting another centre-back. But I'm also conscious of there's a lot to do in the summer, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot to do in the summer. We're going to overhaul midfield, 2 midfielders probably, need a left winger. Exactly. Then you get into probably need a centre-back, need a manager, a head coach. And it's a World Cup season.
Forget about that. You've got to pay for one of those.
Yeah, and it's a World Cup season where everyone's focus is going to be on international football. And there's going to be delayed starts to the season with all of these players as well. So it's a complicated one. And the easiest option might be, reduced wages. Maybe.
At Halilite 2,754 super chatted £5. Happy to go into next season with current CB options including Harry so we can focus on CM, FBs and a winger this summer. Next season Yoro transitions.
I think that's a really good point of what All Elite says there because what has happened with Leny Yoro, and this is where we've got to look at ourselves a little bit. Not everyone, because some people go, speak for yourself, mate. Yeah. He has become a little bit of the forgotten man. He has become a little bit of the forgotten man, forgotten kid, forgotten youngster. Because of how he's come into this team. He's come into this team where he's spent most of his time learning as a right centre-back in this back three. He had some really, really difficult times, as young players just do. He had some really difficult times in some areas of the pitch where he wouldn't probably naturally want to be as a centre-back. Now, you could see that as that's good grounding for him, in terms of getting thrown into the deep end. In his mind, it's like, I've spent time in the back 3, I've spent time in the back 4. It's all evolution, right? It's experience across the back. There's a few times he's played left centre back, I remember early on under Ruben when we didn't really have all the pieces. The odd time here or there, if he had to fill in, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, he's probably been in centre back out of the 3. But he made his name in France in a back 4. He was in the team of the season, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. He was in the Liga team of the season, I think, when we bought him. From Lille, I think.
If Real Madrid got him, where would he be playing? Back 4.
Exactly. He'd be playing a back 4. So he can obviously play there. So I think All Elite makes a good point, which is you look at next year as hopefully a transition period where you start to get him and it's a phase out. And I think that's the bit you've got to make clear about this Harry Maguire thing. It's to help you actually transition smoother. It's very difficult to transition. If you look at De Ligt's injuries, so we don't know really what's going on. He's another injury-prone one. Right, he is a leader when he's playing. At the beginning of this season, we were saying he's having a great season. I'll tell you what, people aren't really talking about him because the results were up and down, but he was great. Now he's been out for ages. But with Leny Yoro, that transition can be made smoother with the demand of a lot of games, by the way, hopefully, because we're in Europe, with somebody like Harry Maguire in there, and then that negates the whole he's injury prone or he's got injury. You're not asking Harry Maguire to be the main centre back playing 50 games a season. You don't have to be the linchpin. This can be the season where you start to go with Leny Yoro and Leacher. If he needs time out, if he needs help, you've got Harry Maguire, you've got, what's his name? De Ligt. You've got Leny Yoro, Aiden Heaven. And then,
call it in the thingy.
What do you call it in the thingy? Say it as well. And other people say, we've got a lot to do. We have, with this new formation that we play, if it is going to be Carrick as well, clearly he wants to play a 4-4-2 or definitely wingers. We need to go and get wingers. We need fullback. We must overhaul central midfield. Do you know what I mean? So we need players, man.
I've got a question for you. You mentioned that with the centre backs, and you said, "Oh, you know, we might not necessarily be asking Maguire to be the, the centre back that plays the most games, this, that, and the other." Who would that be next season? Because when you look at that back four, it's built on a lot of injury-prone players when you think about it. I mean, we're talking about Luke Shaw this season. Now he's played every game in the Prem, which is a remarkable achievement for him. But let's be completely honest. We are kind of sort of waiting for going, like, is he going to keep this up? How long is he going to keep this up for? Like, what's going to happen?
New left back. Need new left back
next season.
Can't rely on him.
Our centre backs you're talking about there, you go, right, Maguire this season, he's been injury prone. You know, he's been out of action quite a bit.
Yeah.
Leacher, we know his history at United of injuries. De Ligt, you know, he's sort of disappeared a couple of times and not come back. That's like 4 defenders there. We're building that are like, you know, that's our defense. Like, can you build on that?
Well,
I know
think
that we'd be
can in
rotating
the transition
more,
season. I think it's that.
That
you're right. It's not going to be set. It's not. This could be my famous last words. I don't think we win the Premier League with the current partnership we have. I think it needs to look different. Do you know what I mean?
That's not a Premier League winning defense.
You know what I mean?
That
it's not. But stranger things happen in football where if you go and get all the other components, so you fix your midfield, you get a banging left winger, you fix left back or full back, you know what I mean? You upgrade on Dalloz / Luke Shaw, you know, and then all of a sudden in that title winning team, it was a mixture of Leacher was kind of a mainstay and like whoever partnered him kept changing, but the rest of the team, you don't know. You can't say you can't challenge.
This is what's mad, Flex. This is what's crazy. Like we say that, you know, and we're talking about obviously the work we need to do in the summer with, you know, midfield. We know we need to get midfield, and we know we need to get a left winger. But when you look at the table, when you look at the table this season, right? When you look at the table, move over here. Our goals for. It's, you know, pretty much where you would hope it would be. I mean, the top 2 are starting to pull away a little bit with their goals scored, but all right, you know, we're in and around what those numbers should be. It's conceded. That's really hurt us this season. Look, 37, Liverpool, they've conceded less. Chelsea conceded less. Villa significantly less, but they haven't scored that many. City and Arsenal, we know, conceded less. So there could be this. I know obviously we're going for midfield, and if you shore up that midfield, maybe you concede less goals. But at the same time, you would look at those numbers and go, well, actually, if you fix the leaking of goals and the sort of the defense, then you'll be in a really good position next season because goals scored aren't a problem for us really much at all. So is there even more work on the defense that we're even maybe necessarily not thinking about actually?
Well, yes and no, because also a big reason of why we can see goals isn't just because you've got injury prone defenders. It could be because your midfield's not fixed. It could be because the fullback / wing backs at the time they're leaving.
Well, that's what I mean. Overall defense.
You didn't.
Defense.
Overall, exactly. So it's definitely on the list of things we have to address. It's just it's just the order of ceremonies, right? Like if I said to you, we're going to spend big on one, I'm pretty sure, I think I can speak for you that you'd rather spend big on a central midfielder than a centre back.
Well, particularly because Casemiro's going in the summer, and then you look at options that we don't have on the bench.
We don't have. Really, we all agree we actually need 2 midfielders. We need 2 central midfielders, which apparently we're in the market for. You know, one needs to be, let's be honest, needs to be marquee, one of those name brand guys that we've been led down this path of, one of the big 3. Yeah, knowing us, it probably won't be any of them, but let's just say one of the big 3 of the Anderson, Wharton, Belabor vibe. Yeah. And then there needs to be a really strong supporting cast. Is that a Ruben Neves 25 million? Is it?
No, he signed a new contract, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he signed a new deal, didn't he? But you know what I mean? Whoever is it, once Wolves really do go down, can you go and get João Gomez out of there for 20 million and he's your backup guy? There's this Tonali thing. Maybe it won't go. You know what I mean? So it has to be. We have to sign 2 because Casemiro's going. So you need the guy who's going to start. That's the guy next to Kobe. And then, of course, we're playing 40, 50 games, all these competitions. We don't want to be, as we would say, we're one injury away from having to start. You have to stop that. You have to have a good whole department of midfielders. Whether that's, you know, Sekou Kone's ready after he can be on the bench, and then you get another senior guy as well. You need 2 midfielders. So we have to spend on that. We must get a left winger. We have to get some orthodox wingers. The last manager, rightly so, because of bad attitudes and different things needed to change, got rid of all of them. Anthony, Rashford, Garnacho. Am I missing one? That's the 3, innit? You got rid of them 3. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we was okay because we went in terms of inside 10s. Cunha, Bumo, brilliant. Got Mason Mount playing there. Bruno was playing further back, but now he's a 10 that doesn't need to be played further back now. So now we're stacked with 10s or players who want to be central, and we need some wingers. Dorgu was a convert. You go, right, he's doing all right. Obviously, he's got injured. You don't know. Sancho was another one, but that was already out before Ruben got here. But yeah, Sancho's another one. So it's 4. We got rid of 4 natural width players who play natural width. We need to, in typical Man United fashion, because we went too far one way, we now need to revert back and get some genuine wingers or a winger, at least for the left.
Well, I suppose we didn't necessarily go too far because, like you said, I think all of those people that were let go should have been let go. You know what I mean? And it's just a case of we didn't bring a like for like in.
There was no like for like because we didn't play that formation anymore. But now
we've
gone back the other way.
But this is what's interesting too, and it's unfortunate that he's out with the injury at the moment. But that left winger that you get, because obviously Dorgu was playing so well, but it was a short period of time. He's still very young. What's your profile that you recruit for your left winger as well? Do you get someone that's going to be starting every single week, and is your sort of de facto starting left winger? Is that even necessarily the right profile of player to go after? Because, Dorgu was playing well. And if it's not Dorgu, it might be Cunha. So if you do get in a high profile person, what happens to them? That's something to consider too, isn't it? You know what I mean? Do you get in someone that's just kind of backup, but they are a winger? So Dorgu's starting more often, but in case he gets injured, you've still got a like for like in there. Do you go for tried and tested because we don't have a true tried and tested left winger in the squad? But what does that do to the squad? These are all things I suppose that they do need to consider. And like I said earlier on, this is at a time when, we're at this period of time, we should be planning for the summer, which I'm sure people within the club are, but there are still so many questions, aren't there? There are still so many questions about, okay, who are we buying these players for next season? Because as we've said before, what if the coach that they go and get, not that they want to play a different formation, but they want different requirements from those players in those positions, because that can change who you're looking for too, isn't it? Well, I want a winger, but I want someone that can do this better than they can do that. Whereas Michael Carrick might be like, no, I want my winger just to hug the touchline and get balls in the box, And it's a World Cup season where it's not like the season's going to end in the Prem and then suddenly it's going to be like, right, we're going to do loads of transfers now. A lot of it's going to be, well, no, we'll wait until we'll see what happens, after the World Cup. And depending on how some of these countries go, that might take a while too. So it feels like there are a lot of questions that need to be answered and figured out first before they even start to go down some of these paths, namely who's going to be in charge, really. And that once again makes you wonder about what that process is going to look like at the end of the season, doesn't it? We've heard the reports of they're not going to get too carried away by results or by runs of games, runs of victories or defeats. We're going to just assess it at the end of the season. But all right, you're going to assess it. But how long is that assessment going to take? Because you've got a lot of work to do and you don't actually have as much time as you think that you do to do it. And other clubs could be stealing a march on us. We sometimes forget about this too as United fans. We get so focused on what we're doing and what we need to do that we forget that there are loads of other clubs out there. They've got their own things that they want to be doing as well, don't they? That's something worth
Biggs
considering as
WF7FF super chatted $5. Can you list on screen 1 players who need to go this summer? 2 players we need to transition, replacements. 3 incomings needed, considering more games.
Can we do that?
Players who need to go in the summer.
Could we do that? Yeah, I think we could. I think we should do that. Let's do a little squad. Can you do the thing where you get you just have the little markers, the little squad list.
Squad list.
Let's do that. Let's do that, Biggs. I like that. We're coming because that's coming with constructive. What could this look like? How could this look? And it is important because we do need to look at what Simon says there. United need a right back, centre back, left back, 2 central midfielders, and a left wing. That's 6 signings. The left wing has 6 signings. And it's hard to argue with all of that, isn't it? Really, let's be real. So exactly like Imo says there, live and interactive show. This is what it is, like a tier list, 100%.
Yeah,
100% tier list. There you go.
I think we missed this one from D Trizzy. He didn't get read out.
Yes, big up Dietrich. He says, I don't want Harry here. Our new season priorities will have to be midfield. Right? We may have to keep the guy on reduced wages. We'll need 3 to 4 midfielders. He wants 3 or 4 midfielders, let alone.
Well, this is what James and myself were saying it recently on Trafford Talk. We were saying that I think there's a really strong argument for going like we need actually 3 midfielders. But
yeah,
I don't think Man United won't get them because we just never really get like 3 of anything. We'll do 2
no,
of
not
something,
in one,
but we very rarely do 3. You know what I mean? When you have to sort of be spreading it around.
It might be 2 and then Sekou Kone's around and maybe Toby
like
Colley comes
he's
back.
in Switzerland at the moment, isn't he? I mean, I don't know.
Twins, maybe promotion, who knows?
Yes, so I've got up the Man United list on their website. Let's just go through first who should stay, who should go in the summer.
Right. So Altay Bayındır.
Bayındır.
Well, he's the second goalkeeper and Lamens is the
backup.
First. He's a backup. Obviously he needs to go, but in this window where we've got a lot to do, But backup is always like, don't have to spend that much and get backup keeper really easily, sort of thing. He can. I think we can do that. I would say backup.
Well, actually, to be fair,
backup, you don't actually have to do that work.
This is true. You get Altay out.
There you go.
Get Vitek back in. He's doing really
well. If he's happy to do that, and also Altay might be like, I want to go and play first team football. I've been sitting here for ages. Maybe. So if he wants to go back to Turkey, and you have to go and get a backup, but that shouldn't be as an excuse as, oh shit, what are we going to do? Need a backup keeper. They're 10 a penny. No disrespect.
The reason I say that one, he might just be worth staying is because like Heaton, who knows, he might retire. We still got to get rid of this fella. We still got to get rid of him still. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But
we still
he will
be
somewhere because he knows he's not going to be here.
I hope so.
Oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that game?
Yes, yes, I did.
Fucking hell. The PTSD that was running through my veins, bro. I was looking at it going, how did we do this at the highest level? We had this guy in Champions League, Premier League, week in. We won an FA. Do you know what? It's a fucking miracle we won a trophy with him.
Yeah.
We won an FA Cup
even in the final.
Despite him. Because he done his best to throw the thing. He did it.
Yeah.
He's
bro. From Doku.
It is wild.
I watched the highlights of that, and you know what really gave me PTSD as I you know when you ever see a video like that, you always scroll down and you go, oh, I wonder what people are saying about this. I scrolled down and it was like it was a lot of the time at United. There were people defending it, going, "No, but some of those goals, and you can't do much more about that." And I was going, "Fuck off!" Like literally, I was like, "No way." He was doing the thing of like when the ball's basically kind of in the middle of the goal, but he kind of dives over it. You know what I mean? It was that kind of shit, and he's flying around all over the place, rushing out, and I'm like
he came out. Remember, I saw one where he came running out, done this shit tackle, missed everything, and just kind of went running back. Then he got a yellow card, started laughing at the ref and being like, "Oh, no." Diving in slow mo, shocking. Honestly,
I saw. Also, speaking of Onana as well, I was scrolling. I think it was on Instagram the other day, and I saw the reel again of you know when he did that interview and went. And he's really, really confident because he's a confident guy. He's in the interview. He's like, so you're telling me that the guy that was the best goalkeeper in the Champions League last season is now one of the worst goalkeepers in the world? And he's like laughing. He goes, I don't think so. And I was thinking, yeah, it is actually, yeah. That's why people are going crazy. It's because that is exactly the case. Whereas we got catfished. Who are you? Who are you? You don't look like your pictures. Like who are you? This is not right.
Absolute madness.
Do you have a twin or something like this? What is going on?
So bad, bro. So bad. But so obviously Onana go. Bayındır, I think but if he stays, it's okay.
Depends. Lomans, obviously, the future.
Are we doing what's realistic in this? Are we saying this summer? What was the original question? Let's go back to that.
It was about who would you keep, who would you bring in, who was being like a squad.
Can you list players who need to go this summer? They need to go this summer. Players who need to transition, replacements, and then incomings. Right. So it is the players that are.
So that's why I say with Bayındır, I'm a bit like, well,
he doesn't have to go this summer.
It's not pressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, depends what happens with Vitek. All right, Dallo, he's not going to go anywhere.
Do we think he needs to, though, is the question?
Oh, of course. I'd much rather have a better right back. You know, we've got one, Mazraoui, but he's not going to. But Dallo's not going to go anywhere. No. I saw. It was in that interview that Benjamin Šeško did with United.
He spoke about him,
and he was like, who's your, who's someone that's helped you sort of bed in, or who's someone that's really helped you sort of settle? And he was like Dalot. And I thought, well, there you go, it's this one. Who he's bonded with at United. He said, Dalot from the start, he was really helping me. He was really trying to help me in all the ways, because obviously it's a different world here. I'm really grateful. He stood up. He saw his younger himself in me, so yeah, we are still pushing every day and doing all the work that's possible. I thought, it shouldn't matter, right? Basically, it shouldn't matter, but it does in the sense that
Owen's gone. He's going to come back in a sec.
He's
on his way back. He's pixelated. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but it does in the sense of Dalot. He's well liked, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's
very well liked. One thing I will say about Diogo Dalot is, in terms of an experienced player, about being a good pro, standards, keeping yourself fit, probably eating the right stuff, what the pressure's like here, helping young players, coaching through, talks a lot of languages. He'll be a great person to have in the dressing room. So players will learn a lot from him. However, what we're seeing in terms of output and where we want to go, I think in the long run, we will need better than Dalot. I mean, I see Gary Neville, he's bigged him up quite a few times saying, listen, he doesn't get the Dalot. Hey, he thinks he can be a really good fullback once he's now back to fullback and playing in a steady team and everything around him gets better. I don't think Dalot is trash. I don't think he's. No. I think he's had periods. A squad player, exactly. But as a starting right back, we're gonna have to find better, in my opinion.
Oh God, much better.
You know what I mean?
You want to talk about earlier on about winning Premier Leagues? That defense win your Premier League. I'm not sure you can do one with Dalot as your regular starting.
No way. And ballers, like, you see the thing about Mazraoui. Some people think I'd give him a hard time. I 100% agree with this. He's far ahead of him in terms of technical ability and IQ, how he understands the game, press resistant, both feet, etc. He's a really competent footballer, Mazraoui. But for me, we need above that. Really, what I would like is Mazraoui to be my auxiliary guy, where he can play across the back.
John O'Shea.
And he can play in big games because you're like, semi-final away from home, 2 legs. Let's just go there. Let's put Mazraoui there first. Then in the home game, unleash the kid who's up and down and doing a Kienda or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather get rid of Dalot, keep Mazraoui, and then go and get the guy. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. De Ligt. Well, he's going to stay. He's not going to go, I don't think, in the summer.
No, I wouldn't have him on a thing to leave. I still think he's good.
Well, the only thing I don't like, with De Ligt is he's one of the highest paid players at the club now, isn't he? He's and I would sort of go, are we getting return on investment with that?
Bang for your buck.
Can you get better?
You can.
And it's weird. And again, it's odd with De Ligt, isn't it? Because like you said, when he's playing, consistently, you go top, really good defender. Under Ruben, certainly, because we haven't seen him under Carrick, have we? Under Ruben this season, he was one of our best players, wasn't he? We were going, I tell you what, I know we're conceding goals, but he's done well, De Ligt, and he is a leader. But there are concerns just because it's the same thing that's followed him around at a lot of the clubs, isn't it? It's injuries. He's had injuries everywhere.
He's a good player, man. I don't want to
consistency.
Yeah,
he's still young.
When he plays, there's been a lot of times he's played and had a good run where you're going, he's good, man. He's a good defender. He is. He's having a monster season, and the injuries have just effed him. I would. Do
you worry he's played too much football? Remember, this is a guy that's played a lot of football since he was like 16, 17. He's captain at Ajax at like 17. Is that kind of a concern as well? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's played a lot of football. I wouldn't get rid of him in the summer.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere in the summer.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'd keep him.
No.
Yeah.
Maguire. So you're saying yes, but reduced terms. I'm saying no.
You're saying just call it in. Don't even negotiate. Just call it in.
I'm not opposed to reduce. Like if it was a thing where it was like, good money, I'm really weary of the fact that he's done okay recently as like, that's a real big reason for why he needs to stay. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we do this with players, don't we? Where they have a good game or a good couple of games. And it's like, see, this is why you need to keep Harry Maguire. And you go, are we kind of overlooking the weeks that he has been missing though, because he's been injured? And, I think that whatever that next contract would be really, really important. But I'm worried about, I'm just worried about us getting tied up in a situation where in like a year's time we go, no, we should have done that. What a waste, So I'm leaning more towards no, but I'm not opposed to him as a squad player. Because I think people at the moment are looking at him like, oh, well, we need him for next season because he's going to be a starting centre-back. Because at the moment it's him and Leacher, isn't it? And again, that can't be the starting centre-back partnership for Man United next season. Ligt and Maguire. That's what it was with
Why
Ten
can't it
Hag,
be?
like
Why can't it be?
4 years ago.
Maybe it can. Fix the midfield, get full-back, left winger, fix the other things. Why can't it be?
But for our season, next season, where we're expecting, where we're wanting to do more.
Well, it's started, to play all the games.
Nah, that can't be our starting centre back.
If Harry Maguire's still playing how he playing now, if Harry Maguire has the
but that's
same
what I mean.
form
That's
he
what you're
has
saying.
now-
That's what I'm pushing back against.
But that could happen though. That just the same way it couldn't happen is the same way it could.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying if it does, I think we might be in a bit for a long season because we need better, and more consistent. I would be really worried about if you're starting 3 centre backs, you're the best that you've got at centre back, in senior players. All right, Yoro and Aiden Heaven. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But you're starting. Actually, to be honest, even them, Yoro, Heaven,
They're young.
and
Exactly, they're young.
But and even they're young and they've had injuries too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all of those centre backs going.
Do you know what I think
we're waiting for disaster there.
For? It's about momentum of the team and like form as well. Like what we've seen is you can have maybe not some of the best players. Like we've had a turnaround now with these same players, with people like Dallo, with people like Luke Shaw, with Ugarte coming off the bench. I know it's 1 game a week. So if you rotate the squad and improve on it in the summer, sometimes we forget that like some of the old guard can still do a job if the rest of the things change.
But I'm just, as like Cuban says here, I think maybe that's where my feelings are coming from me. If like our best back four is Dallo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, or even
but
if
they're not
it's
rubbish players.
I've never said they were rubbish. I'm just saying that would really worry me that 4 or 5 years removed from that, basically there's no difference in our back four. And even back then, the acknowledgement was, well, that wasn't good enough to really kick on to the next level.
Yeah.
And we would still have that. I'd be a bit like, well, sure, there's got to be improvement there. There's got to be development there.
In the squad, and this is why this is up to Michael Carrick or whoever has the job, you do have other players you can use. I just think he's right, yeah. Cuban, I get what you're saying. But what we're doing is because Ten Hag came and effed it up with that same back four, we're like, can't play that back four again. When essentially we're playing that back four now and getting better results at this time. So you add Leny Yoro in, if you fix midfield, I'm saying there is a way, and De Ligt's still there. There's 3 other guys you can choose. Plus Mazraoui is one of Ten Hag's as well. So you can look at it and say you can mix and match with what you got. You don't have to just play the same back four that Ten Hag was shit.
I know, but it
depends on so many other things.
To me, it's not even the Ten Hag part of it. I kind of ignore that part of it. I'd more just look at it as, 4 or 5 years after the fact. It's like if you're going back,
we had that
if you're going back, but even that wasn't sustainable, right? Because of injuries.
No, exactly.
Right?
That was a whole new level with.
I'm just looking at that being like. Again, that back four, we're saying, the next step of if you qualify for the Champions League, the next step is playing in the Champions League and also sustaining your league position too. Is that the back four that's going to sustain that? Is that the back four that's going to be basically? I look at that and go, we can do better. We can do better.
Yes, definitely.
There's better out there.
Yeah, 100%.
In 2026, 2027, we can do 100%.
Better. It's just the problem we've got is, as usual, is we don't do things when we're meant to do them. So we have to. So we need loads of stuff. I'm definitely. Can you go out there and buy a better centre back? Yeah. You can find value out there. You can, you don't maybe want to come back with another Leny Yoro who's young, experienced, needs time. No. You've got that. So where's the 25-year-old, the 26-year-old, the 27-year-old in his prime? Yeah. Where's that guy who's dominant, who's good, who's again, you see other teams do it. I keep going back to it, but the Mosquera. The Malik Tiao, these are guys are costing 20, 25 million and stuff like that. Where are those guys that are ready to play? And he's young. Mosquera's young. So it can be done if you get the right guys.
And also, when you're talking about left backs, if we're saying that Dorgu's now a winger and Malash is going to go, he'll go in the summer, 100%. One would think. We need another
priority more than centre back. More. I would rather, if you said to me, here's 35, 40 million. Do you want to spend it on a centre back or a left back? I'm saying left back.
I'll get left back because we don't have one.
We don't have one.
We got Shaw, and we're saying now actually Dorgu's best position.
But what we might do, you have to think of what with our finances and Ineos and Man United, what is possible is, like you say, Luke Shaw's not going anywhere, obviously. So he's going to stay fit. Might get in the England team as well, go World Cup. Who knows, right? But regardless of that, they will bank on him. Well, we've got Shaw, he's experienced. Dorgu can play there. So we'll just go with that. We'll go with those two for this season between the two of them. That's probably what they will do. I don't think we buy a left back. Do you?
And that's what worries me, because it's like, how many years have we been doing that for? You know, well, we've got Dallo, he can play both. We've got Mazraoui, he can play both.
Exactly.
We've got
so
Dorgu,
they can really go and focus and attack the other key bits, which, if we're being honest, we're kind of undoing our whole squad list by going, they're probably not going to do any of this. But listen, let's continue. Tyrell Malacia is obviously going to go.
Yeah, Leacher will stay. Malacia will go. Dorgu, obviously, he's going to stay. Yoro, he's going to stay. Shaw, obviously, I know that the comments will fill up, but Shaw needs to go. He's not going to go. You know what I mean? He's not going to. He might be going to the World Cup. But then what will be really interesting, won't it, is, all right, Luke Shaw has played every single game in the Prem this season. You know,
he's playing well as well. He's playing well.
Played well. Season before a World Cup, this, that, and the other. If he does make it, the real test for sure is going to be next season, isn't it?
100%.
Is okay, right? What can you do when it's not one game a week, when you're hopefully in Champions League and competing in those cup competitions? Because he's played in none of them this season, remember. He wasn't in the Carabao Cup. He wasn't in the FA Cup because he's being saved for the league. And if they figured that out, all right, that's the way to keep Luke Shaw fit, is he plays one game a week. So you've got to choose. You either plays in a Prem game that week or he plays in the European game that week. You've got to choose one. Okay, fine. You're adopting the Ledley King model. But then like we were just saying, then you need a understudy or someone that's competing with him, then, don't you? Because if he can only play one game a week, someone's got to play left back in those other games. So who's that going to be? And like you said, is that going to be a new signing, or is that going to be Dallo or Mazraoui or Dorgu? And I probably lean towards it'll probably end up being one of those three, as opposed to being a new signing. Aidan Heaven, he's not going to go anywhere. But what would be interesting with Heaven is, if you do bring another centre back, does he end up going out on loan or something like that, depending as well? Because
he'll hit a point where he needs to play, because he's proved already he can play. He can play in the Premier League. In the Prem. Proved. He can play in Europe as well. He proved that as well. So I think and he's got good people behind him. I think if there isn't a pathway for him to be able to play next year, I think they'll probably look at a loan for him. But he's good. Yeah.
Fredrickson, Diego Leon, Harry Abbas, I mean, they could all be options for loans next season, couldn't they? I think Amasi, didn't he get injured?
Got injured,
yeah. Mason Mount, Fleck.
Got to go, mate. Got to go.
I mean, if they're sticking to the 2-season thing, this is his third, isn't it? This third,
third. It hasn't got any better. I did famously say the dark days are behind. It really only counted for Luke Shaw. Didn't count for Mason Mount. He had a period where he was back a little bit as well, and then it's just gone. And he's just never ever going to be able to build up any sort of consistency, a run, just nothing. It's so packed. I've never seen, obviously with the injuries, I've never seen a player be so packed. Actually, Donny van der Beek was probably like that, to be fair, where it's just been so patchy where you can't ever see them. They never ever got going. They just got to leave for their own good and ours. Let's be honest. Great lad, great guy, really fun guy, good pro, riddled with injuries. Needs to go somewhere where that when he does get back fit, he can be the main guy and then get loads of games to try and get himself out of this, because the team's just moving on. We should have moved on a while ago. Let's be honest.
And also, I mean, All Elite says it in the chat. I was just about to bring it up. Like, what's his role even in the team anymore?
Yeah,
you know,
in this version of the team as well. Where is it?
Yeah. Like, he's not going to play in the 10 instead of Bruno. And even if Bruno did go, you're not going to replace him with Mason Mount. We've got Mason Mount, he's going to go in the 10.
Promote him.
You'd be looking for someone better. Midfield, yes, okay, Mason Mount's got a good engine, but even then, you're waiting for the engine to break down, aren't you? I don't know.
He's just lost his way a little bit. I do think he's a talented footballer. I think he's a good technical player. He can play ball when he's fit and firing. But the team has moved on. He's not fit and firing. Hasn't been since he got here. We've given him the best part of 3 years to try and get to that, and he hasn't done it.
No.
At Biggs WF7FF Super Shattered $5. I still miss MCT and Fred. We need players who'll bring the same energy and tenacity they did, but with better quality OFC, to replace Case and Ugra.
You good.
Yeah, you could.
But isn't it funny with that? Because,
yeah,
you know, if you'd
and
have
that's to
said
eat
that,
energy, yeah, definitely.
you know, 5 years ago, you'll miss McTominay and Fred, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We miss McTominay.
But with that context, I don't think we would have, though, because it's saying run around like they do, but with better quality. That's actually what you need.
But yeah, that was, and again, that was almost the criticism of them at the time, wasn't it? Is, well, they just run around, but they've got no technical quality, which again
That's
isn't necessarily untrue.
That's Elliot Anderson. Do you know what I mean? That's Tonali.
But with Mount, I was just checking his contract expires in 2028. I would assume Man United have an option, so they got 2 years plus one.
Yeah,
so it might be the difficult thing is, you know, can you find offers? And I don't know what the book value is at this point. 3 seasons in, I guess it won't be super high for Man United to make a profit or break even on him. But yeah,
it might be. But obviously, and look at his wages, $250 a week.
Yeah,
it will be an initiation phase, like what we would do.
Might be loan,
put him out on loan, and then see how it goes. And like, let's just be honest. It probably, like someone said, you probably end up at like West Ham or something. I don't know. Like just
maybe
Fulham or maybe
Everton. You know,
something like that, and then probably start doing all right.
Probably, yeah. Bruno Fernandes, Fleck.
Yeah. Well, you know my opinion. It's,
obviously, I know you're going to say that he should stay, so that's easy. Yeah. But
if 100 million comes in again, you're going to say.
Well, I was going to say, what do you think happens, as opposed to what you want? What do you think happens?
Don't know. It's hard, man. I see why. I was talking to KG about this. It's like, no, if Carrick stays, like he'll like that. He'll stay. I just think it's really hard with him when he's been so close so recently to going.
Yeah.
To predict that he is like, no, I'll give it another go. I think if he gets offers from Europe, from some of the big ones, which we can look at their squads and go, maybe where's he going to play? That's not going to happen. Bayern aren't going to come. Real Madrid ain't going to come. You know, Barca ain't going to come. I don't know, but I just if it's that release clause thing, and he's, you know, he might. The Saudi thing, I don't feel like he's going to go Saudi this summer.
No, I don't think so.
I don't feel like that. So unless it's Europe, I don't think so. That's a good. You know what? Marx is right. If we get Champions League, he stays. I do think if we don't get Champions League, I still don't think he goes Saudi though. But he might just look for somewhere in Europe that is a Champions League team.
Do you know what? I think that this will be the closest that it's going to come to him possibly leaving. Obviously, I know that a couple of seasons ago it was I had offers and he signed a new contract. Last season it was right. This is what Al Hilal are willing to pay, 100 million. But I don't know if an offer was actually put to United from Al Hilal. It was like, right, we want to see what Bruno's saying first, then they'll do it. This is different because, like I said, if let's say Bayern Munich, right, they go, okay, here's £55 million release clause is activated, then it is just, you know, it's like, all right, what do you want to do? Like, there's nothing United, you know, it's like, well, it's not even a case of, well, we'll take the money. It's like, well, we're going to have to if you want to go. So I think, like you said, there are a lot of different things that could go into this. Do Man United get Champions League? That's something that can go into our favor. How do we play for the rest of this season? Because if we play really well and say Carrick does stay on, he might think, I tell you what, a couple of seasons, we might be there enough there, and maybe I can stay. You know, if we get to the end of the season and it feels like Man United are a million miles off it, no chance, you know, then maybe he might think, look, I'm like 30, 31. I do kind of want to win like a league title somewhere. I do want to win like a Champions League.
Getting into Harry Kane territory, you've got to go and collect somewhere.
Exactly.
You're running out of years.
Exactly. So yeah, if it was me, I'd say I'd want Bruno to stay because, as I've said a million times, I think even the big naysayers and the critics of Bruno, once he is gone, it'll be a case of them realizing what we had, and that people will realize, oh yeah, like some of the numbers he was putting down were just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, but I don't know. I think it would be really interesting if someone does activate that release clause. Really interesting. Yeah. Because then what do you do? You know, because like you said, it's a different kettle of fish of being like, Al Hilal want you in Saudi versus, you know, Barcelona. They want you, or Real Madrid they want you, or someone like that. You know, but Bayern Munich they want you. Okay, that's a little bit. I think it's more likely that he stays out of all the factors. Just maybe like 55% in terms of staying. But I think it's very close. What happens if Portugal win the World Cup as well? You know,
He could be
does
on
that
cloud
change
9 and
things?
think, listen,
I might change things. I've been like, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I've done that. I'm going to go and do something completely different.
Yeah,
you know?
challenge myself. Yeah.
Casemiro, we know he's going. Ugarte, he's got to go, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got to go.
Surely,
Yeah,
there cannot be a scenario where the season starts and Ugarte's in the squad.
You would like to think not, and that's not even being really disrespectful. He obviously wants to play as well, and it's not going his way.
Yeah.
And you would like to think it would be explained to him. We're buying said central midfielder. Kobbie Mainoo was signed, new contract. Casemiro is leaving. We're replacing him, and we're looking to get somebody else as well. So you could be fourth choice, fifth choice, mate. So we're not really, you know what I mean. So he's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we get what we paid for him. Again, I don't know what his sort of book value is or anything like that.
He's got to go.
At Jason Hanna 9,912 super chatted £5. 55 million for Bruno is rubbish money, should have been 80 meters at least. I don't understand why Manchester United accepted that release clause of 55 meters.
It's a good question. Why do you think that was put in there?
I think it was Bruno.
Because it is low, probably, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is low.
I think it was that's in order for him to sign the new deal, the players and the agents will come with something where it's like, listen, this is what we want. So I don't want to make it too high because he's getting on, because the teams that you're looking at don't always spend massively to get players. So he wanted to keep himself as appealing as possible to the open market whilst committing, because he's committing a big contract and he's our main guy. But they come when you're the main guy and you got that much noise around you, you also have to say, you know, right, I will sign that at that length because you want that from me, but I want the opportunity to be able to seen as visibly I'm attainable for people. It doesn't have to be a big mega move of 100 plus 80, 90, 100. It's fairly simple to do. I think it's to do with that personally.
Because, you know, I know people can say, well, his age, but, you know, like you said, Harry Kane, he goes for like close to 100 million at like 30, 31.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, because nowadays with football, you know, some footballers will say they're in their peak when they're 30, 31. That's when they're at their best, as opposed to their mid-20s or something. But like you said, maybe it's just a case of it is his exit route, isn't it? If like,
If we had
another season of 15th, he's like, well, I'm not going to be completely tied here. You know,
exactly. And with that shit, that's a really good point. With that shit, that how am I going to, even though I'm really good, I know Spurs are Spurs, but you know, even though I'm really good, if we are as shit as we've been, who's really going to pay 100 mil for me and stuff when they know Man United need the money? Like, it needs to be something that can be activated quite easily and quickly.
This is a bit of a conspiracy one,
and it is just outside Prem as well. To be fair, if someone in the Prem wants,
do you think it was because like his agent had heard some rumblings from, like, you know, your Real Madrids or your Bayern Munich or your Barcelonas of like,
in the future will come, or
in the future, you know, we would be interested, but obviously, look, we can't pay hundreds of millions or anything like that. So you know, we would be, you know,
because Real Madrid are the ones who don't really do it. Real Madrid either come in and get frees, or you know what I mean.
Because also as well, it might be a case of like them asking Bruno's agent, and it's kind of, you know, we're really settled in Manchester at the moment, but you never know in the future. Well, let's just. Right, well, that can be there. That can be an option, because maybe Man United put it in because they might have thought, look, Bruno, he's never gonna, you know, he's never gonna want to leave us. You know what I mean? Yeah, put it in there, but we've got an understanding with Bruno that yes, okay, you know, but we'll talk about it, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just
these are things that
it's
all
not in there for no
do.
reason.
It's not in there for no reason. It's in there so it could be activated, so you can get out. It's that simple.
Exactly.
So all agents do this. Look at what's going on tonight. It don't matter the love affection you have with the club. Football is football, and business is business. Players are players, agents are agents, and they have to protect themselves at all times. And so they should, because these football clubs will take the piss out of you. Fans will turn on you. You know, fans will love you, then turn on you. It's a ruthless business. You've got to protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Kobbie, though, this could have been a very different conversation. Maybe it's a lot more simple.
Very close to being a different conversation. But it's everyone is in the camp of give him that new contract, get it signed.
Yeah, he's going to stay.
Get him staying. He's going to stay.
Yeah. Collier, he just got injured on loan at Hull, wasn't he? I saw that. Yeah. Dan Gore, 2024, long gone. Dan Gore on the floor. Rasmus, surely he's going to go. I think it's done if they qualify for Champions League, isn't it? The Rasmus one, Napoli. And,
I think Thingy said Thingy. Romano already said like it's all done and dusted because he went past 14 games or some shit.
Oh, is it appearances and what have you?
Yeah, I think it was already. I think it's already done. He said,
But,
no uncertainty. You know, when he does those, it's over between Manchester United and thing.
yeah.
Rasmus has now played something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, Napoli are in the top 4 anyway. Inter running away with it this season. Serie A, bloody hell. 61 points. And they changed manager as well in the summer. So Rasmus, Matheus Cunha, of course, he's going to stay, but next season will be a big one for him. Definitely, next season will be a very big one for him. Yeah. Joshua Zirkzee. Do you think this will be the time?
Yeah, this is the time. This is the time. Listen, I think Carrick is using him. Well, he only brought him on against. I think that was the first time he brought him on, isn't it? Against West Ham, I think. To be fair,
his game time hasn't really changed that much, has it?
No, it hasn't really changed that much. I kind of feel for him. Really, he probably should have gone in January, but there was so much going on with the manager, and we've got one game a week, and just keep everything as is, and get some calm. But he'll be one of the first to leave because he will be itching. He's not playing. He's a decent player. I like him actually. There's a role for him in teams. It just isn't ours. And the way our team is starting to go now as well. We have to think maybe if it is Carrick, he plays a 4-4-2 with the 10 basically joining in the 9 as the second striker or roaming. He isn't going to be that under Carrick, is he? He's not. Then Sesko's not even been guaranteed starting until maybe the next batch of games. So he has to go.
Yeah, I think also as well as Zirkzee. Like I said, I push back on. I know KG said before I can't play in the Prem or this, that. And
no, you can.
I disagree. I think, like I said, I think he's a really good technical player. I think he's one of those players that they have to play consistently to get the best out of them. When we've seen Zirkzee's best performances for United, it's after he's been in the team for like 4 or 5 games. He does take a while to get going, and as we've seen, he's not much of like impact player. You know what I mean? You're gonna come off the bench, he's gonna really change the game. It takes a while to get going. So, yeah, like you said, I feel for him because I think from day one he's misprofiled. I think this idea of, you know what, because he was meant to be, we've only got one striker in Højlund, we're going to bring in another striker, and it was Joshua Zirkzee, which is like, he's not a striker. I know he plays in that position, but from day one we knew he wasn't a goal scorer, is he? He's not going to, be like, okay, right, Højlund's getting you, imagine 20 goals a season and Zirkzee's getting you 50. It was never going to be that. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. So I don't know what really the mindset was.
Why did we get him? It's the typical United. Typical United, isn't it? We came back with him when we were supposed to get a more experienced striker to help Rasmus, and we came back with a guy who goes, I'm not a striker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they said there, like Zirkzee would work as a Firmino type forward. He definitely would. If you had him as a central point and built your team around that type of structure, right, we're going to get this guy who plays centrally, who we really want to be the glue. You can bounce passes off him, you can link up with him, and then we're going to get 2 high-scoring forwards, sort of inside forwards or wide forwards off him, and a 10 to come and join him. And there's going to be 3 other players who all the link goes through Zirkzee, and they play off him or through him or round for him. I think it can work, but our team's not set up like that. A lot of teams aren't.
No, like I said, if you had like a Liverpool where it's like, well, your main goal scorers are from your wide players, like you got Salah who's going to get 25, 30 goals a season. The other side, you got someone, you got Mane, or that kind of thing. You go, all right, because the burden of getting the 20 or 30 goals a season isn't on the striker. It's about actually creating for those wide players. Then Zirkzee's your man. But that
you've got high scoring midfielders as well.
Yeah.
like I don't know. So stupid Ineos just doing stupid things.
Feel bad. It also felt a bit like he was someone that had a release clause. We could get him early. He was Dutch, Ineos had just come in as well, and maybe there were some people handing the transition. It was just kind of like, here's a player we can get. You know what I mean?
He was
a striker. Here's someone we can get. Is he an actual striker? I don't know, but we can get him relatively quickly and cheap.
Ineos was he was with that was him, De Ligt. And
he was like the first signing of that summer. He was the first signing of that summer, wasn't he? And it was the release clause just after,
was when we got Onana, Mount.
Oh yeah, the summer from hell.
Rasmus. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Right, there you go. Exactly. Ahmad stays.
Ahmad staying.
And
Bruno staying.
Sesko
staying. Chido might go on loan. All of these might go on loan. And Rashford and Sancho, they're going, aren't they?
It's over.
It's over. It's over at Manchester United.
Over. It's all finished. It's all finished. There you go. It's all finished. Is that everyone? Yeah, it is.
That's everyone in the first team squad.
Yeah. There you go. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what it is, but you can see the things that we need. You can see
a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do.
A lot of work. It's not going to be easy for that. We spoke a little bit on Sesko's comments, but we kind of went over them. He was talking about Dallo and saying he's enjoying it here, and it's all pretty routine stuff.
We've got a couple of super chats here. Zuta says, promise him straight, but Fleck looking yummy today.
Okay.
You don't have to promise, you know what I mean? I believe you, you know what I mean? And even if you weren't, no problem. You know, everyone's welcome here. You know?
Yeah. Big up yourself.
There you go, Flex.
Yeah.
Still look at that. Still turning people's eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I know the feeling. It's a burden. It's a burden.
Well, you're a head turner. You're a head turner, isn't it? It's just,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tough.
But
difficult.
Whatever.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Big Z says, anyone looking from clubs in relegation zone? Were there any players from sort of relegation zone teams?
That's to say, João Pedro. What's his name? João Pedro. What's his name? João Gomez. Who else is at Wolves and Burnley?
If West Ham go down,
if West Ham, there's a few there.
Somerville, you have him.
Fucking bring Wan-Bissaka back if West Ham go down. If Forest go down, do you know what I mean? Take your pick, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could start talking about Murillo and all that. They might get involved in the centre-back situation. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon Marinakis would let him, though? Marinakis would be like, no chance.
Do you know what?
You saw what happened with Gibbs White last time. Last time?
Yeah, 100%. No, but going down's different. Going down's different because...
At Jason Hanna 9,912 super chatted £5. Is it guarantee that Rashford doesn't come back? I am not too sure.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He might not. He might, if gets a job,
he might not sign for Barca, but I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think so. Just back to Forest, mate. Vito Pereira. What are they doing? What are they doing?
He turned it around at Wolves last season, didn't he? And he genuinely did.
Yeah, and then it went shit.
Because that was it. I was listening to the football. I was walking Ashley yesterday, and Wolves obviously beat Grimsby. Right.
Yeah.
And they went. It's Wolves' first away victory of this season in totality. First away victory of this season. And who was the last team that they beat away from home?
Forest.
No, the last team they beat away from home was Manchester United last season at Old Trafford.
Oh yeah, when they won 1-0 with a free kick. Yeah.
And I just thought, as soon as I heard that, I went, of course it is. I went, of course. It's not like they were good last season. You know what I mean?
Mate, you don't get rid of short. I just thought,
and it's one of those ones where I just went, of course it fucking was.
Yeah, that's how bad we was, bro. Remember, it was all right. He was going for Europa League. He was fine. Remember? Bullshit, bro. And obviously Spurs are in trouble. I mean, getting Igor Tudor as well to get through to the end of the season.
That is a disaster.
I don't know what they. I'd be even more scared than keeping Frank. I don't know. Like it's just to make sure you stay in the division. Like.
His recent record, like he's last. I genuinely think they just looked at him when he was at Juventus, so he must have something about him. But if you looked at his time at Juventus, it was not good.
Terrible.
Not good.
Anyway, not our problem, but that I just don't see where that bounce comes from off that belief. You know, their first game, Arsenal at home. You know, that would be a massive game. We'll see what they can do. But I don't know about that, mate. You need to stay in this division. But hey, no, not our problem. Not our problem. Check on that Football Flex. In fact, on the Football Flex, check this out afterwards because I'm going to be talking about these Steven Gerrard comparisons to Dominic Szoboszlai. It's getting crazy.
It's getting a bit silly.
It's getting crazy. Like Szoboszlai is a very, very good player. Very top player. I love what he's doing. Jesus Christ. Steve, now he's as good as Steven. So check
Gerrard
out on the Football Flex. Actually, I want to see what
in this season of all seasons for Liverpool as well. When they're not that good.
Jesus Christ, honestly. Anyway, right, guys, big up yourself. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We'll be back this evening as well with another video for you. And we are out of here, man. Have a blessed day. There you go. There's the red carpet right there. We will be there. Take care, peeps. Peace.